5 thousands equals how many hundreds? There's probably a few ways we could take this on, but maybe let's start by thinking about these 5 thousands. 5 thousands is 1,000 5 times. So let's think about each of those thousands, each of those 5 thousands. In 1,000, how many hundreds are in 1,000? 1,000 equals how many hundreds? Well, let's see. Let's count by hundreds until we get to 1,000. And I'll keep a little tally mark so we can keep count of how many hundreds it takes us to get to 1,000. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. So it took 10 hundreds to get to 1,000. So 1,000 is 10 hundreds. So what would 5,000 be? Well, 5,000 is 5 times as many thousands. So we're also going to have 5 times as many hundreds. So 5 thousands will equal 5 times 10 hundreds. Because we have 5,000 this time, so we have 5 times 10 hundreds. Or 5 times 10 is 50. So 5,000 equals 50 hundreds. Another way we could think about this is place value. So let's do that. Let's look at a place value chart. Here we have a place value chart, and if we fill in 5 under thousands, we can see that we have 3 empty spaces. We have no hundreds, no tens, and no ones, so we need to fill those in with zeros, or 5,000. Again, it's 5,000. Writing the word thousands essentially replaced those 3 zeros. 5 thousands is the same as 5 with 3 zeros behind it. And now we want to change these 5 thousands to be hundreds. Well, when we read this place value chart, when we read 5, when we stopped here, 5 is the last number we read, and then we read the place value above it, thousands. So for hundreds, we'll do the same thing up until the hundreds. We'll read the place value chart until the place value we want, and then the place value. So 5 thousands is the same as 50 hundreds. 5,000 is equal to 50 hundreds. And we don't have to include these last zeros on the end, because just like thousands implied 3 zeros, hundreds, by saying hundreds, we've essentially implied that these 2 zeros are there. So 5 thousands is equal to 50 hundreds. We weren't asked about tens, but we could look here and figure it out, I bet. Tens, we would say, is 500 tens. We'd read up through the tens and then the tens place, because tens have 1 zero after them. That 0 is implied when you say 10. And then finally, if we went all the way to the end, we could also say that this number is equal to 5,000 ones. So any of those, 5,000s, 50 hundreds, 500 tens, or 5,000 ones are equivalent. They're all equal to each other. But the one we were asked about was hundreds, so 5,000s equals 50 hundreds. Here's another one. 30 tens equals how many hundreds? So this time we're looking at tens and hundreds. So let's think about how tens and hundreds relate. How many tens are in 100? How many tens are in 100? And we could write 100, the word or the number, in 100. Well, to figure that out, if we don't know already, we can count tens. We can count by tens and see how many tens it takes us to get to 100. 1 10 is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So we got to 100 and it took us 10 tens. There are 10 tens in 100. So if there's 10 tens in 100, how many hundreds are in 30 tens? Well, to get from 10 tens to 30 tens, that's 3 times as many tens, so we'll also have 3 times as many hundreds, or 3 hundreds. 30 tens is 3 sets of 10 tens. 10 tens are 100, so another way to think of that is 30 tens is 3 sets of hundreds, or 3 hundreds. We could also think about this in terms of place value. Here we have this tens, and we know that tens can be represented by a 0. So instead of 30 tens, we could simply write a 30 with a 0 on the end. That's 0 for tens. And then over here, equal to, we have hundreds, and hundreds can be represented by 2 zeros. So to make these equivalent, what number will need to fill in this spot? And the answer again is a 3, like we already saw up top. So 30 tens is equal to 3 hundreds.